up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Donna Adelson video, and her estranged son Robert Adelson testified today, and these are some of the highlights from his testimony. So he was asked about his parents' temperament and their personalities, and this is what he had to say.
Based on your personal observations throughout your life, of your parents and of your siblings, who is the leader in the family? Who tends to run the show?
I think my mom.
Okay, so Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
A more assertive.
What about your dad, Harvey Adelson? What's his personality like?
I think he's more passive, more go with the flow.
Okay. So they're kind of opposites in that way a bit?
Yeah.
When you and your siblings were growing up, was Donna Adelson a very involved parent?
Yes.
And when I say involved, as far as with your life and with your friends and with school and with that type of thing?
Absolutely.
Did she have certain fixed ideas throughout your life of certain things she wanted to happen in you and your siblings' life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was it acceptable if you decided to not do those certain certain things that she was fixated she wanted you to do? Was that acceptable to her or no?
No. I think she had certain sort of rigid, fixed ideas or impressions for what she wanted for us, and if you went along with that, things were fine. If you didn't, things were not fine.
Did she have strong opinions about who you all married and what you all did for a living and those types of things?
Yes.
And you're obviously a doctor. Was that an acceptable profession to her?
Yeah, that was okay.
Okay. And was that one of the reasons you became a doctor?
Yes.
Then he was asked how involved Donna Adelson was with her children when they became adults, and was her involvement healthy or not?
How involved was Donna in yours, Charlie, and Wendy Adelson's life after you grew up, became adults, and had kids of your own?
I think still involved.
Was she more involved with your life, Charlie's life, or Wendy's life, would you say?
Probably more involved with Wendy and probably to a lesser degree with Charlie.
Okay, and then would you be she's the least involved with your life out of the three?
Yeah, probably because I was older, but sure, I agree.
Now, was this like a healthy level of involvement that she had with the three of yours lives, or was it more of like a micromanaging as you saw it?
I think it was certainly between over-involved and controlling. It probably lended itself more toward controlling, but there's in various realms, more or less. But I think certainly that was the tension.
Okay, so a little more on the controlling side.
Yes.
Then the prosecutors asked how Donna Adelson felt about Dan Markel when Wendy and he first got married, and how she felt after the divorce or during the divorce.
Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markel when he and Wendy first got together and were headed towards marriage?
He was very positive about him.
Okay, so he was somebody she approved of?
Yes.
All right, and how did that change as Wendy and Danny's relationship soured? They ended up moving towards divorce.
So I really only heard anything bad about Danny after Wendy moved out. I didn't hear anything bad about him prior to that date.
Okay, so just kind of went from everything's fine to then hearing bad things about him.
Yes.
I mean, when you say hearing bad things about him, like from her? From Donna Adelson, I'm
yes.
sorry? Okay. And how did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markel in 2014?
I mean, she hated him.
Would this come from, your knowledge of that, come from things that she would say to you?
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Did you observe that Wendy played a bit of a damsel in distress, in your opinion, in their divorce?
Yes, I think that's a good way to describe it.
He was questioned about what Donna Adelson told him about Wendy's plan for ending the marriage.
What did Donna Adelson tell you about the plan for Wendy Adelson to leave the marriage?
Sure. When she told me that that she had been in Tallahassee for several months.
This is Donna Adelson, had
Yes.
been?
That she had been in Tallahassee for several months, renting a new place for Wendy, arranging for movers, moving money around, and getting things set up. I only knew this after Wendy had moved out, but she was relating to me what had occurred over the summer. And so I heard this all at once, but probably 5-6 days after Wendy had moved out, and then told me that the somewhat gleefully or, pleased that they timed the phone call to Danny right before he was supposed to give a speech at the meeting he was at.
Okay. So a couple questions about that. You said Donna said that she had been up here in Tallahassee moving the money around and getting things ready for Wendy. Do you mean for when Wendy moved out and needed a place of her own?
Yes.
Okay. And what did Donna tell you that she did to try to, I guess, hide the fact that they were renting a place for Wendy?
I remember her saying she had used her maiden name so there wouldn't be an Adelson up here renting, or hiring movers or such.
And just so like word of mouth wouldn't get around that Wendy Adelson was renting an apartment, something like that.
Sure.
Okay. So they used Donna's maiden name.
Yes.
Donna did. And then you said that their plan was for Wendy to call Dan Markell as he was getting on stage, or right before he got on stage, to give a speech at a conference?
That's what I was told.
So Donna Adelson wanted Wendy and her sons to move closer and live in South Florida instead of Tallahassee. And she had thought about these bribes that would get Dan Markell to agree to let the boys move to South Florida. And one of the bribes was giving him $1 million. So Robert Adelson was asked, did he know anything about the $1 million bribe?
Did Donna Adelson tell you that Wendy Adelson was trying to get permission to relocate to Miami?
Yes.
And did Donna Adelson tell you about the $1 million bribe she wanted to offer Dan Markell?
Yes.
So he was asked who was more invested in the divorce, like who cared more about the divorce, and who cared more about Wendy and her children moving to South Florida, Donna Adelson or Charlie Adelson?
Who cared more about Wendy Adelson's divorce from your conversations? Was it Donna or Charlie?
Donna.
What types of things does Charlie care about? What are kinds of things is he really into?
I mean, like go-karts, jet skis, going out, boats, not Wendy's divorce.
Okay. And is Donna Adelson very into her kids and grandkids and
Yes.
their success?
Yes.
Do you think Wendy and her boys moving to Miami was particularly important to Charlie Adelson from your observations?
I don't think so.
So in this next clip, we're going to hear about how he found out about Dan Markell's unaliving.
How did you first hear about Dan Markell's murder?
I heard the day after the shooting occurred, so that would be Saturday, July 19. I was at a meeting in Chicago, and I think I got a phone call first, and that I was in a meeting, and so I just said, can I call you later? And then I got a text message shortly thereafter, like right before 10 in the morning, that said, like, tragedy here, please call.
And are these from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Okay. So were you able to call her that morning from the conference in Chicago?
Yeah, so I walked out and went to the hotel lobby and just hit call.
Okay, and tell us about that conversation with her.
So it's one of those moments that you'll just remember forever. So I remember being in the lobby of the Westin, and I assumed something terrible had happened, and but I wasn't ready for it. She said, so we just want to let you know that Danny's been shot, and they took him to the hospital, but he didn't make it. And it didn't make any sense. And I probably asked like a few medical questions, and they said they're driving up to go help Wendy, and we'll talk to you later. We can't talk now.
Okay. Was she crying in that conversation?
Not
Donna
in the
Adelson?
conversation.
Sir?
No, she was not.
Okay.
It was very matter of fact.
Did she ever give you any further detail that weekend about how he'd been shot, or other than just Danny was shot and he didn't make it?
I think it was the next day. So the only really other time that I spoke with him that weekend, I was in the airport going home, like Sunday afternoon. So it was definitely the next day, and it was the first time I could actually have any kind of conversation. And one of the things that she told me is, it bothered me, but I didn't have any other details about. But she said that, someone went to the front door and said, "Are you Dan Markell?" and then shot him. And then I said, "Well, how could you know that? Who's telling you that?" And she said, "Well, that's just what they're telling us." And
Okay. So she said someone told her that someone knocked on Danny's door, said, "Are you Dan Markel?" He said yes, and the shooter shot him.
That's the story I heard, and later we found out that wasn't what happened. But that story bothered me a lot because there's only one way you could hear that story.
Was she crying when she told you that information?
No.
So after he was informed of Dan Markel's unaliving, in a subsequent call, his mother made some comments about talking to law enforcement. So that's what we're going to hear in this next clip.
Did Donna Adelson ever say anything to you about having talked to law enforcement or the FBI?
It was either that afternoon or the next day, but and she called me and said, just want to let you know, if the police come around, don't talk to them.
Okay, so she told you not to talk to law enforcement.
Correct.
Did you let her know that you already had talked to law enforcement?
Yeah, I said I already did.
And what did she say to that?
She said, "Oh, well, you don't know anything anyway."
You don't know anything anyway?
Correct.
Was that an unusual statement coming from your mother?
Yeah, it just, everything that week was unusual, but I clearly didn't know anything, but I wasn't going to not talk to the FBI if they show up at my house.
He was asked if his mother seemed curious about who unalived Dan Markel.
After the murder of Dan Markel, did Donna Adelson seem curious about who killed Dan Markel?
No.
Was there a complete lack of curiosity?
Yeah, nobody seemed curious.
Did you actually ever ask her, like after the murder, like, hey, like, what do you think happened? What do you?
Yeah, and the conversations were kind of rerouted, or that was certainly discouraged, and it was probably like maybe sometime like mid-August, when I finally had a chance to ask and say, what is going on? This was not a small event. This was getting a lot of notoriety, and I said, what do you guys think happened? And she had said, I don't know and I don't care. It doesn't concern me.
Was that out of character for her to not be curious and not be asking some questions?
Yeah, it was an unsolved murder of, my former brother-in-law, like someone that we all know very well. If it was like some neighborhood gossip, people would be interested. This was like national interest, and nobody had any curiosity about who did this to Danny.
So in this last clip that I'm going to show from his direct examination, he talks about how his mother reacted when he brought up the fact that Dan Markel's hitman had been arrested.
They found the guy. They arrested someone who killed Danny. There's no response, and I said it at least 2 or 3 times that they made an arrest. They got the guy who killed Danny. Yeah, and then her response was, I've got to go.
And then did she hang up the phone after that?
Yes.
And did you ever talk to her about it again ever after that?
No.
So his cross-examination was very short. She clarifies about the comment that Donna Adelson made about law enforcement.
You had mentioned in your direct testimony that your mom called and said you shouldn't talk to the police. You recall that?
Yeah, I do, yes.
What actually happened was a family friend, Michael Weinstein, you know him, correct?
I do, yeah.
Your mom indicated that he had called and advised that as a family friend and an attorney that you all should not talk to the police. That's what she told you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
I don't really think the cross-examination was that effective in casting enough doubt on his testimony. I think that he was pretty clear in a lot of the things that he said, and I think it makes his mother look pretty guilty. But you guys let me know what y'all think. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please hit the like.
This session is adjourned.